Rev up your engines!
Well, here's an interesting one. You might want to take heed if you own one of those to lock your car in your garage at night. Put fancy alarms on it, even more than they come with. Here's the 10 most stolen cars in America in 2020. No surprise, the F-150 is number one on the list, with 40,414 of them stolen in the United States in 2020. That's a 13% increase over 2019. Second on the list, the Chevy Silverados at 40,000. They're number two, and they took over from the Honda Civic, which is now the number three most stolen vehicle. There are 34,144 Civics stolen. Then comes the Honda Accord, Toyota Camry, and Nissan Altima. The weird thing is the Honda Accord is the oldest. They average 1997 is the most popular one. Who's stealing these old cars, you know? 97 Accord. That's the most popular one that's stolen. Seventh place is GMC Sierra. That's 13,000 of them stolen last year. Then comes Toyota Corolla. And interesting about the Corolla is the other way than the Accord. They want the new ones. The most commonly stolen one was a 2020 Corolla. And they're not that easy to steal. They got anti-theft stuff. I'm assuming a bunch of this is just towed away by tow truck drivers or whatever. And 10th on the list is a Honda CR-V. The number of thefts of the CR-V is up 21.9% from 2019. So now you know the most commonly stolen vehicles. If you own one, hey, take extra caution. Suzuki Dodge Malone says, I got a Volkswagen that's burning oil. My dad bought a brand new Jetta R in 2020, Turbo 4. He's put 40,000 miles. The dealership says change 10,000 oil change. I know you debunked it. The last time the oil light came on and the car didn't have any oil in the dipstick, the dealership said, oh, it happens when they start getting mileage. You think it's burning oil or was it underfilled? It's only got 40,000 miles. I can just about guarantee it's burning oil. I mean, the next time you get the oil changed, run it 10 minutes, park it on a level surface, let it sit 5 minutes, then check the oil, make sure it's full on the dipstick. If it is, and it loses, it's burning oil. I can just about guarantee it's burning oil. That's how poorly made those Volkswagens are. 40,000 miles, it's already burning oil. I've seen Toyotas with 240,000, they don't burn oil. Just poor quality. It's a little B four-cylinder engine, turbocharged. They wear out faster. One of the worst engines that Volkswagen and Audi ever made were those 2-liter turbos. They just burn oil like no tomorrow. And the 1.5-liter ones can be even worse because they're smaller with more pressure on them. Can you imagine if I bought a vehicle and it's 2020, it's 2021 now, you got a year-old vehicle and it's burning oil. Garbage. Just garbage. That's why, like I say, vote with your money. You see things don't work, don't buy them. Let somebody else buy them. That's the way that it goes. Why do you think Volkswagens have such low resale value? Because everybody knows they're crap. And the world shows they're crap. So you can get used ones cheap, but they're going to burn oil. Things are going to break. They're expensive to fix. Every other part is made out of plastic. I had a customer that had a Jetta, and it was a 2020. He got clipped by a pickup truck, the back fender. All it did was grab the front of the bumper a little. It ripped the whole front of the car off. I mean, almost everything came off. The headlights, everything was plastic snapped. It was like a toy. And it just came apart. Don't buy it if you value your money. Jerome says, I got a Chevy HHR. The transmission needs replacement. Should I get it fixed or another car? It's a 2008. It's got 170,000 miles. Most have been in the city. It shifts harder, but now it's going really bad. I can get a used tranny for $500 with 100,000 or 80,000. With used car prices, should I fix it or get another used car? Get another used car. Those HHRs are absolute piles of junk. You got 170,000 miles. Be happy it lasted that long. Do not buy a used transmission. They're junk. You find a used one, where does it come from? A junkyard. Generally means the car wasn't taken care of or it was in a big wreck. The wreck might have damaged the transmission. Don't. Just get rid of it and get a better made car. Now, if that was a Toyota or Honda, I'd say fix it. But if it was, you probably wouldn't have to fix it because the transmission probably wouldn't be broken. You know, the HHRs were really disaster area vehicles. I mean, they looked cool, you know. Typical American. Make something that looks cool but isn't built all that well. No, I wouldn't. If I were you, I wouldn't waste my money on that. I'd get something better and you don't have to think about it because that thing's going to nickel and dime you to death from now on. It's an HHR. They aren't made that well. They fall apart as they age. It's probably burning oil too. And then the engine will go out and then you start fixing that. No. Used is okay if you got a Toyota or Honda because they don't break much, and if something does and yours is 250, 300,000 miles, you can find with 100,000 miles, yeah, put a used tranny in. Not a Chevy HHR though. C. Schultz 27 says, is the Rise-On valve sealer any good? I can't get the AT205 reseal anywhere. My car overheated and started blowing smoke in the morning. The head was rebuilt a few years back. I think the seals have hardened. Here's the thing, even the AT205 reseal, nothing really works on valve seals that are shot. The valve seals are on your intake valve. valves. Engine gets real hot. If they're old and cracked, you'd have to replace them. If it's sucking oil and then burning oil first thing in the morning when the oil that pooled gets sucked in because the seals aren't any good. I found even the AT205 doesn't stop wear on hardened out from the heat intake valve seals on your engine. That's unfortunate, that's true. Now, you can drive cars a long way that way. It doesn't hurt anything. It just burns a little bit of oil because you'd have to take the engine apart and replace all the seals, which is a gigantic pain in the butt. Now, it can be done on the vehicle. I know you can take the spark plugs out, put air compressor on each one, and the air compressor holds the valves up, and you can take the top off of the head, and then you can replace the seals and put it on, but it's a gigantic pain in the butt to do that. If anybody ever rebuilds a head or has your engine done, make sure they put brand new valve seals and don't use the old ones because it is a job replacing them, and there's no seal that's going to fix that. The AT205 resealer and some seals work great on rubber seals, on cams, cranks, transmission seals, stuff like that, but the heat of the engine where the valve seals are, when they're gone, they're pretty much gone, and there's nothing you can do about it unless you're going to rebuild the whole thing and replace them all with brand new rubber seals. Now, here's one that I find hilarious because when I'm in Tennessee, I'm just outside Nashville. Nashville just filed a lawsuit to keep hot tubs on wheels off the road. These guys are going around in these vehicles, they have hot tubs in them, right? Some guys bring little inner tubes and they float on them. It's pretty funny. Right? Somebody found a technicality and they want to shut them down because, of course, people don't like it. They're noisy. They're drinking. When I was in Houston, they had the ones that people peddled, and the driver wasn't drinking, so it was legal. But all the peddlers were drunk, but they're just peddling anyways. And they didn't go that fast, right? Some people didn't like the noise they made because they're playing music and drinking. They're getting them in Nashville for operating a public pool without a permit. Now, of course, people are going to drown in a pool or something. That's dangerous. You got to have all kinds of regulations. But come on, it's a hot tub on wheels and people are going down the road having drinks. They're not driving, it's somebody else's. I doubt if anybody's going to drown either. Now, the company's called Music City Party Tub. I think it's pretty funny myself. It debuted in 2019, this hot tub. There's a vehicle that has a trailer that has a big hot tub in it. And they're saying they're illegal because they don't have a swimming pool permit. I guess the local bureaucrats are mad because they told the guy that ran the hot tub company that he's supposed to submit them a plan for their public pool permit for their hot tub on wheels. So you think Tennessee's the volunteer state, the land of the free? Well, the bureaucrats are even taking over in Nashville. Well, I don't live in Nashville, so it doesn't affect me. Now, the guy's fighting back. He says, well, his hot tub is 50 gallons below the minimum required to call something a public pool, so that'll be interesting to see who wins that one. I'm sure the bureaucrats will win like they always do. But they better watch it. They're going to start chasing people away because recently Nashville raised their property taxes. A lot of people are moving out of Nashville. They're moving out more in the countryside saying they're going to tell us what to do. We'll go somewhere else. I met a lot of people in Clarksville that came from New York, Chicago, Boston. They like it. It's open-ended. The ones in Nashville, maybe they're going to start losing their population just like the other big cities are by regulating people too much. Really, when you think about it, they just have some fun in a hot tub. It's in downtown Nashville, which is Partyville anyways. If you ever gone down Broadway or Nashville, holidays or anything, it's just people drinking, having fun, and it's been that way forever. It's called Music City for a reason. People are drinking, walking, having a good time, So are these people in a hot tub. I think it's funny. I think people should get their head out of their rear ends and stop whining about things and go out and have fun. After all, these people that are drinking, they're not driving the hot tub, they're riding. Somebody else is driving it. Check it out. This car is bizarre. It's called the Nobe 100. It's a three-wheeled electric vehicle. And it's not a fantasy. They're actually going to be making them. They're made in Estonia, and the company started in 2017. It's an interesting three-wheeler. It's a smart one. It's got two wheels in the front and one in the back, so it's stable. It's called the Nobe 100. It's an electric vehicle that can carry 3 people, and you can even fold it back, and one person can sleep in it if you need to. And it's extremely light. It only weighs 1,322 pounds. And the guy's got a picture of where there's no parking in Europe. He's got a little drive where he drives up and it picks the car up, and the car sits on the side of the building so it doesn't take up any space, and then it goes back down. You can drive it around. It has 3-wheel drive for all terrain, so it's not like it's going to slip because the front and the rear wheels are drive wheels. Not 4-wheel drive, but 3-wheel drive because it's only got 3 wheels. Air conditioning, and of course it's got 3 wheels, so it's called an auto cycle. So it goes by motorcycle rules. You can drive it on the transit lanes where you're supposed to have more than 2 people because it's technically a motorcycle. Range is estimated at 160 miles. Has a top speed speed of 80 miles an hour. And their thing is sustainability. They claim that these cars can last a lifetime. They're making it so all the parts are easily replaceable if you have to. And you don't have to worry about, oh, it wears out and there it goes. Electric motors should last a long time, and they're making them so you can keep them forever. They don't want them to end up in a junkyard. Now, they're not cheap. For a little car like that, the price in the United States is going to be $29,000. The production-ready ones are starting the end of this year, and they claim that in the next few years, they're going to put out 50,000 of these things. You find a niche, and you build it for a niche. And there's probably a lot of people in cities think it's a cool thing, all-wheel drive, even though it's 3 and not 4. I could see that as, working out quite well. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.